We have Jidojo joining us this morning to break down this particular report for us and what the implication will be for the federal government. Good morning, Jidojo. Thank you so much for joining us this Tuesday morning.
My pleasure, yeah.
Okay, how is
I
Abuja?
fly.
Uyo is fine. How is Abuja? Is the protest building up over there?
I haven't gone out, but I believe so, yeah. Definitely there will be protesting.
Okay, so the implementation of the Oronsaye report looks like good news that a lot of people are celebrating. Firsthand, what are your thoughts having heard that the president is asking that this be implemented several years after it was brought to the table?
Well, it came to me as a pleasant surprise yesterday evening, and I've been one of the advocates for the implementation of the Oronsaye report, given the fact that the entire world is moving towards smart government. Um, you don't need a huge bureaucracy to get the jobs done, particularly if you are able to use the information communication technology. And this is even the era of artificial intelligence. So we don't need all those very big ministries, departments, and agencies. For your information, we have over 1,000 MDAs from what I learned. And this Steve Oronsaye report has been on since 2012. In 2014, the then um, President Goodluck Jonathan set up a white paper committee which submitted its report. That was in 2012. The report was submitted in 2014. For 8 years, President Muhammadu Buhari was marolling. He made commitment that he was going to implement the report. He never did. Several committees were set up. I recall there was one in which a secretary to the federal government, head of service, and all of them were asked to implement the report about 2022. That still did not see the light of the day. But I've written a couple of articles in my column on this issue. My worry is that between 2012 and now, many more agencies, parastatals have been established. So the report of Oronsaye is dated. It's outdated, in my own view. And yesterday, as I read through what was in the news, it will seem like it's a skeleton that we are trying to just implement. Because the one I saw on Channels TV website talked about 22 or 23 agencies that are affected. And you have over 1,000 ministries, departments, and agencies. So that's just like a drop in the ocean. And we have been told that nobody will lose their job. So now in 2023, 2024 budget, this about to be scrapped ministries, departments, and agencies have budgets. There are monies earmarked for them. And you ask yourself, which report are we implementing? Is it the white paper of 2014 or another white paper of Buhari? So the whole thing is not very clear. But if we are impinging this Oronsaye report implementation on cutting down the cost of government or governance, I believe, and very sincerely to my sister, it will not go far. It will not go far. Why did I say so? What we actually need to impact, the reduction in the cost of governance is all those, bogus line items in our budgets. You are procuring vehicles, 3 billion naira worth of vehicles every year for the presidency. You are renovating with billions of naira every year. You are going on foreign trips as if you are going from Abuja to Lagos. Those are where we saw what is in the budget for travel for president in 2024. You are talking of about 7 billion naira for presidential travels. We are talking of presidential yacht of is it 5 billion naira? Does it need a presidential yacht? You are talking of Section 147, sub 3 of the Constitution, which talks about a president having to appoint at least a minister from every state of the federation who shall be an indigene of that state. And I have said, we do not need 37 or 36 ministers. We can have it. We can cut it by half and have 18. What are they doing? They are not supposed to be. The representatives of the people are actually in the National Assembly. And it's at 3 layers that we have those representatives. If I will let you know, we have 3 ministers representing every state. We have various numbers representing us in House of Reps, ranging from 5 to, in some states, 14, 15 reps. Then we have the state houses of assembly. Those are the representatives of the people. Why must we have 1 minister per state? What is what they are doing? Now we have had Tinubu's minister for about 7 months now, from August to date. How many of them have you been hearing about? There are many of them who are, about 13 of them are minister of state. You don't even get to hear them. I am living in Abuja. I don't even know who is the minister of state for FCT. I only know she's a lady from Kano. Ijeson Wike is the one everybody gets to know. Is the one we hear. But what I'm saying is that it will not go far enough. It's a step in the right direction. Let me not say we should not implement. But you know also that many of these agencies, departments, and ministry were created by law. So you need to sponsor executive bills to the National Assembly. It is the executive bill that will now liquidate the existence of these merged agencies.
Okay.
Because they are created, they are not just created administratively.
Okay.
So there is a lot of work done in 12 weeks, yes.
So it's not necessarily just something we can up and move. Now, we're looking at the fact that if this is implemented, it can be saving the federal government 241 billion naira literally annually if we save up, if these agencies are merged up. That's how much we are prospecting it can save. Now, also, one of the good news that we've seen out of this is that agencies like the EFCC, the ICPC, and the Code of Conduct Bureau will be merged because they seem to be performing the same role, just split into different places. What are some of the impacts that you think that we can have if we see this Oronsaye report, an updated version? Because you've rightly pointed out some loopholes. It is outdated because several things have happened over the years. But if we even move to implement this report, what are the gains that you think the federal government can receive, and what will the direct impact on the citizenry actually be?
Well, I wish that the press statements or the press conference that was held by the Minister of Information and National Orientation speaks to that. What will be our gains? Because you are quoting the 2012 figures. And like I told you, I've written on this issue, all those 260 billion will be saved, 300 billion will be saved. That is if the report as contained the 800-page Steve Oronsaye report of 2012 is implemented. And that's the figures at that time. Like I told you now, many more agencies have been established. I didn't see any agencies in the Ministry of Education merged. Why? Ministry of Education have 22 agencies under it. What are their functions? Many of them are not well resourced. They are just like a empty shell, collecting budget every year. I am of the considered view that what needs to be done is that yes, let's implement Steve Oronsaye report, but I think they are not sufficient clear thought. There are not sufficient clear thought on the how this will be done. Mm-hmm. They just set up another committee with a task of 12 weeks to see to the implementation. They do not have comprehensive list of agencies to be affected, because I didn't, in all the ones I read, and I read about 4 newspapers yesterday night, None of them mentioned agencies under the anti-corruption like CCB, CCT, ICPC, and EFCC. I didn't see that has been included. And you know where there will be problems, my sister. Some of the agencies that are going to be merged, some of them their salaries and allowances are so bogus that it will create a feud if you want to now merge them with mainstream ministry. Why do I say so? For instance, they say now that National Agricultural Land Development Agencies should revert to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Assuming that the NAFDA is on special salary scale, would that be ideal if they are under the ministry to continue to collect their own bogus salary where their counterparts in the ministry continue to hand their lean salary? I know EFCC pay special salaries to their workers. The least paid EFCC staff has more than 4 times their counterparts in the ministry. Now, if you now want them to merge with Code of Conduct Bureau and Code of Conduct Tribunal, there will be issue about whether you cut the salaries of those who are working in ICPC and EFCC, or you upgrade everyone's salary to that level. And that means it will affect wages and income. Now, it's a good thinking that we are merging National Salaries and Wages Commission with Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. I do not see why we need these two in the first place. This is something that one agency can handle. But I think in the coming days, we will have clarity about the dimension and parameters of this implementation. But it's a welcome development. And like I said, what we just need to do in addition is to also restructure the country. We need to restructure this country. There have been call for change of system of government from presidential to parliamentary.
Is that even a welcome development?
We can do a lot.
Jidojo, if we move from the current system of government that we're running to the parliamentary, is that something that is going to help us move forward?
No, that's why I'm saying what we need now is the evolution of power. We are talking of the need for state police. We are talking of the need for, some of those items on the exclusive legislative list having to be devolved to concurrent legislative list. We are talking of whether we should have 109 senators and 360 House of Reps members, or we reduce it by 1/3, the way the Italians did some years ago. Or we scrap the Senate and have only unicameral legislature at the center, which is at Abuja level. The same way the states have only one House of Assembly and not bicameral assembly at the state level. We can save a lot of resources through all of this. But more importantly, is that we need to plug the loopholes through which we are losing huge income, like non-remitter of money by government-owned enterprises who will collect money on behalf of federal government, spend it recklessly, and remit whatever they like into the coffers of government. We need to plug the loopholes where people embezzle government funds with ease. And that's what we saw with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Recall the recent control.
Quite a number of concerns there. Yeah, we've gotten even to the peak.
In that social investment program, which had to be suspended for 6 weeks.
All right, thank you so much, Jidojo, for coming on the show this morning. Quite an elaborate exposition on the, Oronsaye report and what's to be expected. We do hope that in 12 weeks, this develops in the best interest of the nation. But of course, we've been speaking with Jidojo, who himself is an ace journalist and a columnist with Punch newspaper. Thank you so much for coming on the show this Tuesday.